What's good, y'all? It's your boy Saint Quam. Welcome back to Quam's Corner. This week, we're going to be talking about Playboi Carti'S new album, Music. So Atlanta rapper Playboi Carti just dropped his new album, Music, and it's making a lot of waves. It's probably going to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 albums chart next week, and a lot of his fans are really liking it. But Playboi Carti is still a controversial figure in the space of hip-hop. A lot of older hip-hop heads feel like he doesn't even deserve to be called a rapper, and what he makes isn't really music. But it's undeniable that his music is resonating with a younger demographic, and he's one of the new artists that has the opportunity to emerge as a superstar in the space of rap. So today we're going to be looking at the top 5 tracks on his new album, but before we do that, I think it's worth us taking a step back to see how we got here. So the date is April 14th, 2017, and Kendrick Lamar has just dropped his album, Damn. After first listen, fans are going crazy. It's an amazing album, but there's also another album that drops on that same day, and that's Playboi Carti's self-titled album. It was so different from Kendrick Lamar's album. Kendrick's album was well thought out, it was telling a story, it was intricate, it was exciting with different twists and turns. Carti's album, on the other hand, was just fun. It seemed like a good escape from everything that was going on, and there were some catchy songs on there, like Magnolia, that went on to become a hit. So it would make sense that fans would be split about these two types of music. You have Kendrick Lamar on one side, and then you have this new emerging sound that has been dubbed mumble rap, which has a lot of negative connotations and wasn't accepted as real hip hop. But I was one of the fans that enjoyed both albums. I obviously loved what Kendrick Lamar did with Damn, but I also enjoyed Playboi Carti's album. And I thought what he was doing was valuable to the game. And I think over time, that's something that Kendrick Lamar himself has come to realize, given the fact that he was featured on 3 tracks on Playboi Carti's most recent album. It's such a full circle moment going back to that day in 2017, which is now almost 7 years ago. 8. Damn, I'm getting old. With that being said, there are certain things that I look for when I'm approaching a Playboi Carti album. And some of the things that are important to me are beat selection. I always feel like he picks out interesting beats, maybe ones that I might not hear on other projects, and ones that are ahead of their time in terms of their appeal. And also delivery, particularly when it comes to inflections. He likes to try different voices, different intonations, and I think a lot of them are unique, not necessarily ones that I hear on other projects. And then energy, especially when it comes to those like rage type tracks. There's a lot of energy in the delivery and in the songs that's unique to his sound, which I find really interesting. And then also just the vibe. And it's hard to explain. And it's one that a lot of the older hip hop heads get annoyed at when kids say, yeah, I'm just looking for a vibe. But it's one of the things that is unique to his music and his projects. So let's jump into music and see what the top 5 tracks are. So number 5 for me is going to be Back Rooms. This is one of the tracks that has a Kendrick Lamar feature. It also features vocals from Jhené Aiko, and I believe the song was produced by Kanye West. And this is one of the tracks that exemplifies that characteristic of just having a vibe. It's a song that I think is going to be a hit. Really good hook by Playboi Carti on the song, and the little bridge that Kendrick did with Jhené Aiko is very reminiscent of what he would do on a song like Luther or Loyalty with Rihanna. It's that like sing-songy Kendrick vibe, and it works here. I think the song is really dope, and it's one of those songs that you could just bump on like a long summer drive. I think a lot of people are gonna like this one. Number 4 for me is going to be Olympian. I think the beat on this track is crazy. It's one of those, I would put it in the hyper pop category a little bit. And I think Playboi Carti just floats on this track. it's a really dope vibe and just one of my favorite tracks in general. I would put this as, you know, a typical Playboi Carti track if we're talking about Whole Lotta Red era and past that, and it's definitely one that's gonna make it onto my playlist outside of the album. So very solid track. Number 4 is Olympian. Number 3 is going to be Wake Up Filthy, and what a filthy beat on this, pun intended. This track is crazy. The beat on it is like a super villain, you know, hopping out their cave and about to go crazy. And Travis's verse on this is wild. Playboi Carti's vocals on it, you know, go crazy where he's like, wake up, like super catchy. So this is definitely one of my favorite tracks, and for me it's like one of the things that show why he brings so much value to the game, because the beat, just the whole vibe of it is very different. Like, you're not getting this everywhere, and I just love the production on this song. So Wake Up Filthy, definitely one of my favorites on the album. Number 2 is gonna be Crank. So this track apparently is from a sample from Space Ghost Perp. I wasn't so familiar with the original song, but the song goes crazy. Once again, beat selection out the roof. This song also features vocals from the DJ Swamp Izzo, and it hits on this song. Like, that's one of those other hip-hop elements that was on this album that I really liked, bringing back those days of incorporating the DJ and gave it that, you know, Atlanta mixtape feel, which I really liked. And this particular track just embodied that kind of, you know, down south, dirty, with the DJ screaming on top of it. Like, this song just goes crazy, and I could see it at, like, if there was like a 2025 version of Freaknik, you know, like, this is the record that they would be playing, you know. So very dope record from Playboi Carti. And what I would say is that this album was also kind of throwing back to a lot of that Atlanta culture and Playboi Carti's influences himself. And I think this is one of the tracks that pays homage to like a down south type of sound. The number 1 track for me is gonna be Like Wheezy. This track is gold. And I think this track really delivered on what I expected I Am Music to be. Initially, the album was supposed to be called I Am Music, and it still says I Am Music on the cover, but the official title of the album is Music. And I Am Music is an influence that comes from Lil Wayne. He actually has I Am Music tatted on the side of his temple, on his forehead. And you could tell that Playboi Carti was leaning into that Lil Wayne influence, especially when Lil Wayne was going on his crazy mixtape run in the 2000s with, you know, the fashion in terms of like the whole new look with the jerseys and like the baggy jeans and the fit. Like, that's very Wheezy. And you could tell that Playboi Carti is very influenced by Wheezy. One thing that's really interesting about this song is that his vocal delivery and inflection kind of reminds me of Young Thug, which is really interesting because when Young Thug first came on the scene, I thought he sounded like Lil Wayne. And so now that he has this track that is, you know, called like Wheezy, and I don't think he sounds like Lil Wayne on the song, but he sounds like Young Thug, who was influenced by Lil Wayne. So that's another thing that is kind of like tracing that lineage of what Lil Wayne brought to the game. And I feel like this song is just a perfect example of it. Like, the beat sounds like something that could have been made in the 2000s. And the delivery is just like energetic and chaotic. It's everything that I come to like a Playboi Carti album for. And for this particular album, just seeing that Wheezy influence and the way it came to fruition was very dope. So that's really, you know, my list of the tracks that I really liked out of this new album. I encourage people to give it a listen, even if you're one of the older like hip hop head types, and see if there's something that you pick up. It probably might not be for you, which is okay. I think it's dope when hip hop has these different buckets and different areas that we can all enjoy based on our own preferences. So that's another episode for Quam's Corner. Thank you guys for sticking around. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to be dropping some more content, so stay tuned for that, and be safe out there. Peace.